Monday.
It's at Namely Monday with a MONDAYS.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
Yes, that's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew. Over there is Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Twitter and Instagram at namely90s with a 90s. And if you'd like to watch this show visually, you can find us on YouTube at namely90s.com/YouTube. Oh gosh, this it's the February 1990 episode.
Yeah.
Always rough when we get into the early 90s because I wasn't a sentient being at that time.
Really. I was less than a year old at this point. It's gonna be, and on top of that, the stuff that they went over, it's like there's just like a tiny gap between the end of the 80s and the early 90s that I don't know, like Gulf War and the USSR actually existing, because by the time we got to kindergarten, while they were still on the map, they had disbanded.
True. It's a rough time, but we muddle our way through it, usually by just playing random games that aren't really that pertinent after we talk about the stuff we know nothing about.
But before we get started, last Monday after our episode aired, news broke that Dustin Diamond, the actor who played Screech, passed away from cancer at the age of 44, I believe. We're going to pay a little tribute to him later on in the episode, but I guess
R.I.P.
as he was the only original cast member from Saved by the Bell to not be in the reboot, which is, for some reason, is doing well on Peacock. I wasn't aware of this, but that's what the media is reporting.
How?
Right? I'm as surprised as you are. I guess he will not be making an appearance on that show.
I guess not, unless the circumstances are really bizarre.
You never know who they're not above digitally recreating.
That's true. But I hear you have some pretty big news.
As we mentioned last week, Rewind's back, my YouTube series, which you could find on YouTube by going to rewindshow.com. It's been a hectic week. I had my Thursday episode. I had wine shipped to me from Missouri and Florida, which are the teams that just played in the Superb Owl this past weekend. And
Missouri.
So those didn't reach me until Wednesday for my Thursday episode. So I had to shoot and edit it all that evening, which was stupid of me to think was a good idea, to say the least. My internet went out when I was trying to upload my Tuesday episode.
True.
Yeah, which I was also doing last minute. It is a sign of quality that I do all these just so down to the wire. It's like being back in school, procrastinating until the very last possible minute to get stuff done. It's very, very exciting.
But it always worked out, right?
Oh yeah. That's
mostly.
Yeah, that's why I dropped out and became a winemaker. What about you? Anything going on in your neck of the woods? I heard it snowed.
No, it's actually unseasonably warm now. It's like 50 degrees, which is weird.
I guess I was on the East Coast.
So I drove my car basically full speed through a car wash the other day.
One of the long ones where there's people in there to wash your car for you, or
well, it's one of the long ones that's got the brushes and like the thing from the ceiling that brushes your car off. Yeah. So I went to this new car wash, and I mean, it's like every other car wash. You put your little card in the thing. It says, okay, proceed forward. The person like guides you in, and then you're supposed to put it in neutral and take your foot off the brake. Yeah. Well, my car is kind of lumbering and slow, so I drive it in sport mode. And so like I clicked it one notch up toward neutral, which should have been neutral if I was in drive, but I was in sport. So I just pushed up into drive, like let my foot off the brake and just like cruised at idle halfway through the car wash. And then the lady's like yelling at me. She's like, neutral. So I put it in neutral, and then I put it, and then she was like, okay, we're good. They had to like hit the button. This alarm started going off, and I had to put it in reverse, and they like ran me through it again. Like, wow, this guy's a
That's
moron.
nice of them to let you go through twice. That's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember like going through the car wash. This is a really fast car wash. That was my exact. So anyway, that was like last week. So I went through it again today, and I was like, okay, neutral.
Did they remember you?
No, I think it was a different lady. I was a little bit scared to go back.
I would definitely find a different car wash to go to if I were you.
Kind of reminded me of that episode of Top Gear where they take the convertible people carrier into the car wash and it's like starts on fire.
Yeah. Good times.
Anyway, public service announcement: do not go through the the car wash in drive. The more you know. I can't do it.
Well, I'm not going to add it in. And now for future episodes, I'm just going to use that clip of you trying to do it.
Ding. Oh, well. Shall we get into the body of the episode?
Yes, I've always wanted to get into a body with you of 1990.
Yes, well, that's February 1990. Take it away.
All right. Travel back with me, if you will, to February of 1990. On the 3rd, we have Sean Kingston, American reggae rapper is how he was described when I found these birth dates, and YouTuber Zach King are born. On the 7th, another YouTuber, Sean McLaughlin, also known as Jacksepticeye, is born. I watch some of his things sometimes. He's a...
What got in his eye?
Septic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
His logo is like an eyeball, floating eyeball with like green goo around it. It's kind of gross. Also on the 7th, the USSR. The USSR Communist Party agrees to allow opposing political parties in Russia, or excuse me, in the USSR, because that existed back then, like we said moments ago. And also on the 7th, Lisa Leslie, future WNBA superstar, which I've dyslexically written down as WBNA, scores 101 out of her team's 102 points in the first half of a high school basketball game. The opposing team refuses to play the second half, which robs her of beating the 105 points in a single game record. At the time, the current record is 113 by a single player, and they lose. The opposing team lost 102-24.
Okay.
I just thought that was interesting. Because
no, I mean, I'm not a big basketball fan. Any sport where you can get 100 points is stupid. I'm sorry, like. 100 points?
But
really?
To be fair,
okay.
That was 100 points by herself.
I know, but like my point is, okay, I think soccer takes it too far the other way, but it's more exciting when scores are more infrequent, because when you just spend the whole game scoring, like as a fan, I feel like, yeah, they scored. Oh, look, they scored again. Oh, look, oh, they didn't score. Oh, they scored. It's like, what? Okay, this is boring now.
I don't know.
That's just me.
I mean, basketball's not my favorite sport either, but it almost is more exciting than just watching them do nothing for 90 minutes.
I know. Basketball is outrageously popular, and I guess it's no wonder that I don't like
I
it.
mean, I haven't watched a basketball game since the Seattle Supersonics were robbed from Seattle and turned into the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I mean, all I know is I rail on basketball all the time, and people are like, "No, actually, it's really popular. You're wrong." I'm like, "Okay,
is it though?
Whatever. Why is it on TNT?
Yeah, why
then?
is it on TNT? And why is Charles Barkley commentate on it?" So on the 11th, Nelson Mandela is released after 27 years in prison.
Parking ticket?
Yes. I mean, in that area, definitely, as a black man, you would get thrown in jail for 27 years for that. On the 12th, Super Mario Brothers 3 is released for the NES in North America. On the 14th, Perrier water is pulled from the shelves after a lab found benzene in them. More than 160 million units are recalled worldwide. That's a recall I did not even know about.
It's the, the whole thing, like Jack in the Box had the whole E. coli scare and Chipotle. And what's the other one? There's another really, I can't remember the other like high profile one, but where that's just now what you associate that place with. Yeah, Odwalla. Like you just associate that company with E. coli, even though I still eat at Jack in the Box.
And Odwalla is sold to Coca-Cola. The Perrier is owned by a different company now. Yeah, but you're still just like, I don't know if I should have that food smoothie from the grocery store.
Yeah. But like back in the 1960s, people just washed their hands in benzene, like scientists and stuff. Like it was fine. You just used it for, and they didn't know that it was dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, how do we know that just wasn't what they were doing at the Perrier facilities for?
But everything was so dangerous back then. Like I remember, like you look at those old textbooks from like a chemistry textbook, and there's a picture of the author in the back, and it's literally a guy smoking a cigarette like in the chemistry lab.
next to an open valve with gas going.
Yeah, he's just smoking a cigarette. Like that was totally cool back then. Washes his hands in benzene, goes home for the night, and gets cancer.
I mean, that's only a couple decades removed from still boiling your water and drinking alcohol predominantly instead of water.
But more people should do stuff with a cigarette hanging out of their mouth. I feel like that'd be entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, you could just go back and watch French films if you're really into that stuff. On the 16th, Abel Tesfaye, also known as the American recording artist The Weeknd. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, there's no E between the K and the N. He's born. Actually, I like a couple of his songs. I think it was the Starboy album. He sounded very much like Michael Jackson in that one.
Yeah, some of his music's not bad. He's just a super weird guy.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it has to be
most
said.
creative, highly popular creatives aren't they?
True.
And finally, on the 21st, Danny Elfman wins a Grammy for the Batman theme from the Batman 1989 movie. This is the theme that's repurposed into the Batman the Animated Series when we watched that for one of our Christmas episodes. A funny story about this. I remember because I was in band in middle school, and I sat next to Ben. Not that Ben, but the other Ben. They're both my friend Ben. And I was like, hey, I figured out how to play the Batman theme song last night. And I played that version of the Batman theme song. And he's like, that's not the Batman's theme song. And he starts playing the Batman from the 60s.
That's the old one.
I was like, what? Because at that point, I didn't know about Adam West and his crazy Batman antics. But I did watch Batman the Animated Series pretty regularly.
Well, he did grow up or live in a house that looked exactly like it came out of the 1960s. So
Other Ben.
Dang it.
The one that lived in our neighborhood.
Okay. You referred to the other Ben before by name, so yeah.
Oh, did I? Yeah. Anyway, well, that's why I said other Ben. I said not that Ben, this Ben.
We've been talking about this for a while.
Yes. So TV premiering in February of 1990. Yeah, weird, right? On the 9th, we have The Brady's, which is the second Brady Bunch sequel series, and that got canceled.
Second sequel?
Yeah.
Oh,
the
gosh.
first was apparently originally a mini series or movie called The Brady Wives, and that did not go over well. Neither did this, since it was canceled after 6 episodes. And then on the 18th, The Death of the Incredible Hulk, which was the last of the sequel straight to TV movies from the 70s Hulk movies, that premiered, so starring Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk and David Banner. And in the box office on the 9th, we have Hard to Kill, starring Steven Seagal. Also on the 9th, Loose Cannons. I have no idea anything about this film. I just saw the description, which I am going to read to you right now. The film is about a hard-nosed cop who's teamed up with a detective with multiple personality disorder to uncover a long-lost Nazi sex tape. This is where it lost me. Featuring Adolf Hitler, which would jeopardize the political future of the German chancellor-elect.
You can't see my mouth, my jaw just hanging open as you read that.
I got to lost Nazi sex tape, and I was just like,
what kind of garbage is this? Who is in this? I'm sorry. This is...
you can Google that. I didn't bother to even keep going.
Oh, it's a comedy.
Yes,
isn't
it's a satire, I believe it said.
Oh, it's got Gene Hackman and Dan Aykroyd.
One of the great lost Dan Aykroyd movies.
Okay, well, I thought it was a serious movie.
Oh, no.
So
No.
I was like, what?
No, did I not include the word satire in the... Oh, I did not.
I may have missed
No,
it.
I didn't include that in my notes that I sent you.
Let's see what the Rotten Tomatoes rating is.
What is it?
Which one are we looking at? The audience score?
No, the one on the left, Metacritic.
The tomato, it's 0. Is it one of the other ones that had 0?
No, that was Metacritic. That was
Oh.
But no, I do not believe that was one.
I need to know.
I'll let you figure that out.
It doesn't come up. I don't know how to do this.
Well, why don't you riff for a second and
I suck. Okay. Riffing badly. It's weird. We actually watched an episode of CSI that had like a similar storyline.
Really?
In the Lawrence
Hitler
Fishburne years.
sex tape?
Well, no, it was about like the the soon to be elected chancellor had like some dealings with East Germany that would have precluded them from becoming. It was kind of like this in a way. I think it had some similarities. I watched it last night.
And there was it actually involved the German chancellor.
Yeah.
Huh.
Creepy.
That's strange, but not a sex tape involving Hitler, and I'm assuming him for some reason.
So stupid. No luck?
No, was it Loose
It's fine.
Cannon or Loose Cannons?
Loose Cannons. Let's just agree that it was bad.
Yeah, so bad you can't even find it on Metacritic.
They can't even bother to critique it at this point. It's so terrible.
Yeah, wow. And then on the 23rd, there was another movie that I'd never heard of before either, called Where the Heart Is. I have to say, February is pretty bleak for movie releases. I was surprised that it was not like, because you're coming out of the winter lull. There's Valentine's Day, so there has to be romance and stuff going on.
Yeah, Loose Cannons. It's about a sex tape.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Can you imagine if you took your wife to go see that when you were still dating?
Sorry, you mean my ex-wife? Okay. But
moving forward, let's see. On the Billboard chart For the first week at number 1, How Am I Supposed to Live Without You by Michael Bolton gives way to...
Classic.
Oh, you said classic. I thought you said hold on a second.
Yeah. Hold on a second. That's classic. Continue.
Yeah. Metacritic won't let me get to the movie page.
It's trying to protect you.
I think it is.
Don't do it. Please don't do it. It's not worth it.
For the rest of the month, Opposites Attract by Paula Abdul. You may remember this as the music video with Scat Cat, DJ Scat Cat, I believe, which was a clip shown on Family Guy of her going up the stairs and going down the stairs.
Yeah, but I think, isn't it Peter? And he says, because I'm dressed like a cat instead of opposites attract.
Yes.
That's a thing.
Yeah. Forgot about that part.
I love that clip.
It's been so long. That was early Family Guy. Number 4 for the second week in February, we have Janie's Got a Gun by Aerosmith. Number 9, Escapade by Janet Jackson. Number 10, All or Nothing by Milli Vanilli. If you remember Milli Vanilli or don't, go back and listen to one of our episodes where we talk about them. And number 15, Free Fallin' by Thomas Pettyworth. That doesn't sound right. And number 16, Rome by the B-52s. I'm going to admit that for the longest time, I thought that it was R-O-M-E, Rome.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is that Rome the city?
Literally, no, it's R-O-A-M, as in like going out to Rome.
Around,
yes.
Rome
yes.
around.
So I was 31 years old when I learned that it is R-O-A-M that they're saying.
Wow.
Which makes more sense than, roam the city when you want to roam around the world. Yeah. Yeah. And now, in memoriam of Dustin Screech Diamond.
Here's the poem. Too many nights. It's been too many nights of being with to now suddenly be without.
Wait, that's the whole poem?
So many nights. Yeah, so many nights.
That can't be the whole poem.
It's the whole poem.
I guess I did ask for a short one.
And that's what she said. And the fact that it's so short, but yet still is about sex. Just saying. Like, seriously, this girl. Oh, there's one called Seattle.
Rest in peace, Screech. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Thanks, Jewel.
Thanks, Jewel.
Hello, everybody. How you doing today? My name is Michael Rocco.
My name is Raf Stitt.
And who are we, Raf?
We are the host of Straight to DVD.
We are a film review, Joker, meming podcast. That's who we are.
Hell yeah, that's what we do.
This is who we are. This is what we do. Come listen to us. You can find us on Instagram at Straight to DVD Pod. That's the number 2. You can also find us on Apple Music and Spotify. Where else can they find us, Raf?
They can find us wherever they find podcasts, wherever you listen, whether it's, like you said, Apple, Spotify, maybe Google Play.
Twitter?
They can find us on Twitter. Same handle at Straight to DVD Pod. Fantastic. You can follow the 2 of us on Instagram. Michael, what's your handle?
At Michael_Rocco_.
At Raf Stitt, all one word. We hope you come join us for some movie chatter, some banter, hopefully some laughs.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. There's nothing else for us to tell you.
That's all we've got. So we hope to see y'all soon.
Check us out. Goodbye.
And now back to the show.
Wow. I feel like there was one thing in there I wanted to say. Oh, is Sean Kingston really just 2 years younger than us? I thought he was older.
No, yeah, because he was definitely younger than us, or he's definitely younger than us. He looks, he was like 16 or 18 when that "You're Beautiful Girl" song came out.
Okay,
he had a baby face at the time. Are we thinking of the same person?
For some reason, that's the only thing I had to add to that. I don't know why.
So I was thinking, I know we've talked about it before, and you said you're quite terrible at it, but we gotta talk about Super Mario Brothers 3.
I mean, I never played it. It looks very familiar to me, so I feel like I watched some people play it.
Really? You never played it? I didn't. I might.
Oh, it was on the NES.
Yeah, it was
right?
on the original NES. It's the third in the Super Mario Brothers line. It's best known. I mean, I think this one got drilled into my head because they had an old NES at the daycare I used to go to when I was in the second grade, La Petite Academy. And after school, I would try my best to get inside, get to the NES first and play that. And like the kids had on the wall, like where all the secrets are and how to get through each level.
Right.
And, they really mapped it out like crazy people used to do in the day. You didn't have the internet. You had to figure these things out yourself. But I think it is one of the greatest Mario games, one of the best platformers of all time. The mechanics, you get the Tanuki suit, which not just the leaf that gives you a tail that lets you fly, but you can turn into a statue if you hit down and B. You get the frog suit, which really helps you with swimming. There's I think the whole idea is that it's like a stage play too, because in the intro there's like curtains come down and then they open or something, and it's like supposed to be either because Super Mario Brothers 2 was a dream, and I think the third one's like some sort of stage play, which is weird to say since you're actively killing Goombas and Koopas in the world. But yeah, some of the best levels is there's an entire world where like all the blocks are 4 times the size, so everything's giant and it kills you.
Did they release it for the Super Nintendo as well?
So they repackaged the first 3 altogether as Super Mario All-Stars.
Huh.
So it was a little bit more cartoony looking because they updated the graphics for the Super Nintendo.
I think I'm getting it confused with Super Mario World, because that's the one I think I've seen a lot, because we got that little SNES that has all the games on it.
Yeah.
I think that's the one I've seen mostly.
That's what we played a lot at my house. Yeah. But almost as good, but I still say Super Mario Brothers 3 is better. And what else was I going to say about that? In college, I think I spent like one weekend with one of my buddies just playing through the game because I bought it again on the Wii. And one exciting Saturday evening, I think it was me and my roommate or me and one of the other dorm mates. We just played through the entire game until we beat it, which was sadly took longer than it should have.
So I've mostly like remember the one on the Game Boy, the original Game Boy. My brother had that, so I kind of played that.
Wow.
I've seen a lot of Super Mario World. The kids play the one from the Wii U. What is that
Super
one?
Mario Brothers Wii U. Or
whatever one that one is.
That's the title. Or Super Mario Brothers 3D World.
3D World, that's the one. So I saw my 5-year-old, he was playing the 64 version, which we've talked about being not good. But I was watching, it was showed like one of the pipes that they jumped down or whatever. And it was just visibly an octagon. Like they hadn't even tried. I mean, could you not put a few more polygons in there? Like it was just a polygon. It had no sort of like circular structure to it at all. It was terrible.
Again, that was the first 3D platformer of all time, or not of all. I mean, officially.
I know, but they couldn't make it like 16-sided at least.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I mean, they were wire. They didn't use wireframes until they got to the GameCube. That was still polygons back then. But
all right,
I will let you have your outrage.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Wow, we're already running long.
Well, we started 5 minutes late. Also, that's what she said.
So I thought we should quickly talk about those terrible Marvel TV movies. I guess it's not like I never watched them. I only saw Conan play clips of them every time a new MCU movie would come out, and he'd just be like, so we have a new clip from Thor, and then they show a clip of the 1988 Incredible Hulk movie where he fights Thor. And yeah, there's a Daredevil's in the 1989 Incredible Hulk TV movie, and it's just like Charlie Cox is on Conan. He's like, well, we have a new clip from the upcoming Netflix series Daredevil, and then it just cuts to like some guy in footy pajamas in the 1989 Incredible Hulk movie, because for some reason it was the trial of the Incredible Hulk, where the Daredevil's alter identity, Matt Murdock, he's a lawyer, so either he was prosecuting him or defending him. I don't remember, but I think they fight. They always fight, and
things have come such a long way since then.
I mean, they still had to paint Lou Ferrigno up and make it look like he transformed, or the other guy transformed into Lou Ferrigno. Also,
he's wearing full green face.
Yeah, yes, he is wearing full green face, green body even. Speaking of offensive things, I recently just found out that in the 1970s Incredible Hulk series, the main character's name is David Banner, but the comic book character's name is Bruce Banner. So the reason why they changed it.
Why is that?
I'm glad you asked. The reason why they changed it is because studio execs thought that Bruce Banner sounded too gay. Are you doing the jaw drop thing again?
No, I'm. Is Bruce? Bruce doesn't seem okay. It seems stupid to me.
Yeah, this was the 70s. I don't know. That's all. That is dumbfounding.
What a weird time.
Right?
Yeah, what a weird time to be alive.
And then wasn't like everything was all disco back then. Did it really matter if it was a homosexual name or not?
That's the stupidest thing I think I've ever heard. I've heard a lot of stupid crap.
I've definitely heard dumber. I just watched a Daily Show clip about what's her name, Representative Taylor.
Oh yeah, she's a crazy ass.
I think Jewish space lasers take the cake.
Did she say Jewish space laser?
Yes.
Wow.
Starting fires of California.
Okay, you're elected officials, folks.
Yep. So do you have any thought? I was going to talk about. Have you watched any of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? The Marvel movies, TV shows.
Which ones are those?
Iron Man started it off, and all the Avengers stuff, and most recently, I think the last thing that came out was Avengers Endgame.
Iron Man, yes. Avengers, no.
You didn't even make it to the first Avengers?
No.
Wow.
No.
How about and then right now on Disney Plus, WandaVision is the new hit thing.
Is that with Wanda Sykes?
Yes. Wanda Sykes trying to find the correct pair of contacts is the entire premise of the show.
I bet she makes a lot of really unfunny jokes.
Like we're making right now. No, WandaVision is Wanda Maximoff is one of the Avengers. She's Scarlet Witch, and Vision is a synthezoid that is also a Avenger, and he died, spoilers, in Infinity War, and so there's just a giant hole in his head, and because one of the thing that was powering him was Infinity Stone, blah blah blah. Yeah, so she somehow resurrects him, and they're now living in some sort of sitcom world. So the first 3 episodes are just very like the first episode's like a 1950s Dick Van Dyke style sitcom. The second episode's a 1960s Bewitched style sitcom, and then they make it to the 70s, and it's kind of Brady Bunch-esque, which leads me to my next segue. Yeah, I'm gonna take a sip of water for that one. No, it's good. It's a slow burn, so I would suggest waiting until you could binge it all if you can, because it wasn't until the 4th episode that they started explaining some of the background mystery that's going on, because it's clearly something's gone wrong. They're living in a sitcom world, and then now it's like now in the real world, in universe real world, they're like also watching them as a sitcom, and they're like, what's going on in this town? Are they forcing all these people to be their captives? I'd recommend it if you like the Marvel stuff, which you clearly don't. So I made a game. We're going to call it Plot or Not, the Brady's edition. So the TV show The Brady's is an American comedy drama television series that aired on CBS from February 9th to March 9th of 1990. The series is a sequel and continuation of the original sitcom The Brady Bunch from 1969, it focuses on its main characters as adults. So that's 6 children that are adults and their parents.
Oh boy.
So what I want to do is we're going to have, since the show only lasted 6 episodes, I've made up some different random plot points that describe the episode. I'm going to read them to you, plot summaries of each episode, and you're going to guess, was it the plot or was it not?
Okay.
All right. Are you ready? Okay.
Sure.
First one. It's called Start Your Engines. Cindy is do you remember the Brady Bunch characters? Let's just give it a quick.
No.
All right.
I looked them up briefly.
Okay. So the premise of the original Brady Bunch is this dad with 3 sons and a dead wife, I assume, and this single mother with 3 daughters, also with a dead other parent, I assume. They got married together and moved into the same house, and it was the oldest son was Greg, the middle son was, I want to say, Bobby. Peter, and then the youngest son was Bobby, and then on the girl's side, the oldest daughter was Marcia, the middle one was Jan, and the youngest one was Cindy. And there's the classic Marcia. Jan, being the middle child, was always jealous of her older sister, and Cindy was just the cute one. Yeah, so that's enough of a primer for you. Cindy is a morning radio DJ, and Bobby is now a race car driver. He makes it to the Nashville 500, where he is in a serious car wreck and paralyzed from the waist down. Marcia, her husband Wally, who has lost another job, and their kids move in with Mike and Carol, that's the parents. Peter breaks up with his business-minded fiancée Valerie and becomes a playboy. Jan and husband Philip try to get pregnant. Greg, following Bobby's car wreck, considers going back to medical school and changing his specialty to orthopedics. Is that plot or is it not?
This is all one episode?
Yes. So this wasn't a half-hour sitcom anymore. It was a 1-hour drama.
I'm going with not.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's incorrect. That was a real plot of The Brady's.
Wow, that is too much for one episode. I'm sorry.
It was the pilot, so you got to ease people back in.
Okay. True.
All right. I'm going to say you need to get 50% correct to win out of 6. So.
All right. I'm not hopeful.
All right. Next episode, we're going to call it Here We Grow Again. The Bradys rally around Bobby in his efforts to recover. The arrival of Bobby's old college girlfriend, Tracy Wagner, helps to lift his spirits. Unable to conceive a child of their own, Jan and Philip adopt an Asian girl named Patty. Cindy is a morning radio DJ and begins dating her boss. Greg decides to stay with obstetrics. I'm terrible with medical jargon. After Tracy's pregnant sister goes into labor at Bobby and Tracy's wedding, which is officiated by the same minister who performed Mike and Carol's wedding. Also remember, Bobby's paralyzed from the waist down.
See, that sounds made up to me.
Was that plot or not?
Not.
Ooh, I'm sorry. That was also a plot from an episode of The Bradys.
These are all the real plot, aren't they?
We will see. We will see. All right. Let me know on time if we're going too long.
How many do we have?
4 more. We can just do...
Yeah,
let's do 2 more.
All right, 2 more.
All right. This one is called Bottoms Up. With Carol doing more things for Jessica and Mickey, Wally working overtime with Mike, Cindy debating about a job promotion, Jan busy managing the family's architecture firm, and Peter... Jan busy managing the family's architecture firm and Peter, Bobby and Greg working on a new trauma center, Marcia feels left out and unneeded and turns to alcohol for an escape. Was that plot or not?
Not.
Sorry, that was episode 5 of The Bradys.
Oh my God. A trauma center? What?
Yeah. Well, they're architects. The family, the dad was an architect.
They've designed it. Got it.
Not on. Sorry.
Okay.
I guess I forgot that.
Oh man, well I'm under 50%, so There you go.
Oh, I guess you lose this one. All right, last one for fun since I put in all of this work. Marcia, Nora, and Tracy opened their own this one's called The Party Girls. Marcia, Nora, and Tracy opened their own catering business called The Party Girls, and their first assignment is a mistakenly Austrian-themed event at the Brady residence for an ambassador who's actually from Australia. See how they flipped the script on that one? Meanwhile, Greg and Peter are constantly feuding when their schedules keep conflicting. Greg saves Peter from choking, and the brothers make peace. Was that plot or not?
Yes, it's a plot.
You finally caught on. That was the final episode of the 6-episode run of The Bradys.
Okay, there is not this much happening in anyone's life. It's ridiculous. It's out of control.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a sitcom family that turned into a 1-hour drama. What do you expect?
The reason it ended after 6 episodes is because everything in the freaking world that could have happened in 6 episodes.
That's a good point. They really didn't time that out well.
Too many names.
Yeah, I guess I don't even remember half the people's names anymore. Yeah. And on that bombshell, I guess that's it for this week's edition of Namely 90s. This is Monday after all. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday since, again, this is Monday. Thank you for listening to us on Monday.
We've established, in fact, it's Monday. Yes.
Find us on Twitter at Namely90s with 90s, or find our personal accounts at bschwitty and at Namely Andrew, and tell us what you want to tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. You can contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Marsha, Stitcher, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and wherever you get your podcasts at. I'm Brandon. That's Andrew. He loses. And we'll catch you next time.